All right, let's do a little news, if we will.
Actor Jerry O'Connell revealed in a new interview that his wife, actress Rebecca Romaine, and their daughters became physical with him after former Vice President Kamala Harris lost the 2024 presidential election. The actor joked on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast on Monday.
I'm going to tell you about a bit of... I say this, will I stay married? Blow it over here. My,
Sounds like you're going to blow it over here.
the night of the election, this third one.
Yeah.
Third election. Everyone knows what I'm talking about here. I was watching late at night the returns, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't think Trump was going to win. I live in California. I didn't think he was going to win. From what I was hearing.
I didn't either.
I think he was going to win.
No,
this is where I live, you know?
Yeah.
I said something along the lines of like, there was no planning, this is what they get, there should have been a primary. I said something along those lines, you know? Like I was just spitballing ideas as to, it was a shock, you know? My wife and daughters, without saying anything, became physical with me. They were filled with rage. So if I am being careful with you in how I say things, yes, I live in California. I live with not one, not two, but three people who, if I made any kind of joke, they would, they'd become very angry with me, you know? So I
don't want to tell you how to live your life, but I couldn't live that way. I would, whatever household or whatever situation I'm in, I say what I truly think, and if it makes you angry, I'm sorry, we'll have to work that out.
Well, it makes...
But I am not going to tuck my tail between my legs and just shut the fuck up. This is what you were dealing with when you were a child. Just sit there and don't say anything.
Yeah, but...
Sit on your hands. But what happened to Rob Reiner? More of that, Jerry, more of that.
Yeah.
Where's Rob Reiner's ghost when you need him to be telling you more of that?
Yeah. It's a problem.
Man, the night of the election, I don't know where you were, Ace, but I was on the road with my girlfriend, who you've met, who is great, and she's a fun hang, and she's fun, but that night, I've never had to console somebody more. We were on the 35th floor of a hotel in Vegas, and I was like, we got to make sure the windows are screwed in, because she was ready to goddamn jump out of it.
Well, women, and they made such an emotional argument about Trump and Kamala. And I just want to say to everyone who's on the left, you know, Trump versus who? Like an incompetent, lying, duplicitous sack of shit who's inert. Like Kamala Harris wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
The border would just fucking be wide open. The border would remain wide open. Like, whatever you think of Trump, let's not compare Trump to some sort of unicorn candidate that you built in a political lab. Let's compare Trump to Biden and Kamala Harris. Biden was a brain-dead, race-hustling, corrupt, serial lying, incompetent guy who was basically a puppet who was falling asleep sitting next to George Floyd's brother on the Juneteenth celebration on the lawn while Kool and the Gang sung. He didn't know what the fuck. The only time that guy woke up was to take money from Ukraine for his fucking son because his family's corrupt. He has 35 shell companies. So what are you comparing Trump to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And who basically left the border wide open so terrorists and God knows who else could all just spill across and create sleeper cells. Kamala Harris is a dunce who's a word salad shooter who I don't know what her policies are. She's for transing the prisoners. She's against transing the prisoners. She's for fracking. She's against fracking. She's been to the border, but she hasn't been to the border. She's a dope. So what are we comparing Trump to? You can dislike Trump all you want. Kamala Harris is a good candidate. She's smart. She's hands-on. She's going to take care of business. The fucking border would be wide open right now. Wide open. And you know what would be going on right now? Texas would be talking about setting up containers and putting something out in the Rio Grande, putting barbed wire in the Rio Grande so they couldn't get across into Texas. And Kamala Harris and her administration would be suing Texas to get the barbed wire taken down. That's what we'd be doing. And every fucking speech would be about trans. It would be nothing but LGBT community. It'd be white supremacy is the biggest problem this country faces, and something about trans, and something about the community, and something about a seat at the table, and something about treated with dignity, and we'd get our ass handed to us. And by the way, Iran would be this close to nukes. That's what we'd have with Kamala fucking Harris. So I know everyone's sad, but let's talk about what you would offer.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that Trump is doing nowadays, former presidents that are on the side of the left that people like did the same exact shit. They just didn't have the mic skills. And people
They didn't do it. They said they were going to do it, and they never did it. If Kamala Harris was in charge right now, Iran would have a nuclear device, and the border be wide open, and whatever terrorist cells want to come across the border with a suitcase bomb could do it because it'd be fucking wide open. So shut the fuck up. Shut up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're dumb. We decided women knew everything. And listen, just because you're going to become emotional doesn't mean you can blackmail me with your retarded ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you'll get very upset if I don't wear gloves during COVID at the supermarket. That's you being a dumb bitch. That has nothing to do with science. And we let them go. We let them go. We used to check them. We used to check women and go, no, I'm in charge, or no, you don't get to set all the policy. And at some point, guys got whipped, left them in fucking charge, and now we're going nuts. And by the way, that's what LA is. It's a fucking city filled with chicks in charge.
So many comics do not want to post anything nowadays because they are afraid of the wrath they're going to feel from liberal women.
Ugh.
It's awful.
Taking Dumbos and being scared, basically... Here's basically here's the household. Here's the California household. Listen, my wife's nuts. Her ideas suck, and they're going to ruin the house. But I don't want to get into a fucking argument. Yeah. She's going to start crying. I don't want to fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let the fucking house go to shit. I mean, most guys I know got steamrolled during COVID just because the woman was panicking and making all sorts of fucking declarations, and now we got fucked. By the way, my kids are vaccinated. I didn't want them vaccinated. They're vaccinated. I didn't want that.
Sure.
So that's the way it is. So grow some fucking balls, Jerry, and stand up.
Yeah, no shit. Jesus, man. Although I will say, you got to admit, he looks pretty goddamn good, huh? He has had a glow up. Him and Chris Pratt both. Those guys should get medals for all goddamn good. Those kids were they were the fattest kids on the set, and now they're goddamn leading men. Handsome. Chelsea Handler has blasted Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his wife Cheryl Hines, claiming that she has not been able to live in her $5.9 million Brentwood home she bought from the couple 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Chelsea Handler's a dope, by the way, and she's not fucking funny either. That's the other. I wish she was funny. I've done her show. She's not funny. She's skilled, but she's not a funny person. She's more dope. And by the way, you wouldn't have to fucking show us your tits every 10 seconds if you were funny, but go ahead.
Especially the mental state that you're in, I would walk up and fucking have a conversation. A real conversation about
Dennis Leary, by the way.
Listen, he's been confronted so many times about his ethics and his views, and he doesn't give a shit what anyone thinks anyway, so it's not going to make an impact on him. I would, just to get my rocks off, I would like to have a go at him. Just some background information. I bought RFK Jr.'s house in Los Angeles 5 years ago. I still have not lived in this house. That's how fucked up this house was. The idea that this guy is in charge of the health of our country when he didn't even have a proper foundation at his house. And when they opened up the house, they were like, this house is the most toxic environment. You cannot live here for at least 2 years.
I see him all the time and I'm like, what did you do to Chelsea's house? Like, what have you done?
Yeah.
All right. She's a dumb bitch. Now, here's the thing. Take it from a guy who's remodeled a lot of houses. I don't know what, first off, the foundation. It's not like Kennedy Jr. was in there digging footings or putting pylons in or doing foundation work. Here's the thing about a house. When you sell your house, you get an inspection. You get a home inspection, and they inspect the foundation. And if the foundation needs to be repaired, then the homeowner can repair it, or they can get a couple of bids and they'll just deduct that amount from the price of the house. So I don't even know what that means. But also, you can fix a foundation pretty fast.
Sure.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
In terms of, I don't know what she was talking about, mold mitigation or something?
I don't know. Yeah. She was talking about some of the, she says, quote unquote, illegal stuff, which when you say illegal stuff in California, it's just not up to their code.
It's such, the two biggest tells from the retards on the left is Kennedy Jr. Their two biggest tells is Kennedy Jr. and Elon Musk. That's how I know you guys are lying and you have Trump derangement syndrome and we never have to fucking listen to you ever again. Because, A, both guys formerly darlings of the left and the Democrats. One's a Kennedy, by the way, who made his bones suing Monsanto and all these other big chemical companies and defense contractors and Union Carbide for polluting the environment. So this guy, I mean, you want to talk about a guy who was built in a Democratic Papa Boner lab. You have a guy with the last name Kennedy, so he already comes from royalty, and he makes his life work suing huge corporations that pollute the environment. Okay, so you love this guy.
Yeah.
The other guy invents an electric car, which you love. So you love Kennedy and you love Elon Musk. And nothing bad was ever said about any of these guys. One guy was a genius who's going to save the planet through building electric cars and electric semi-trucks and everything else. And then the other guy was going to save the planet by repairing the planet because the rivers had gone bad, and he's going to sue the company, and then he was going to rehabilitate the river. These are your two biggest icons amongst the left. Then Trump gets elected, and they go about to do more good work. Doge, save the taxpayer money, grift and fraud. This guy's going to get red dye number 17 out of Razzles and look into childhood look into what's causing everyone to be on this, every kid to be on the spectrum of autism and all this kind of stuff. But because he was selected by Trump, you then have to attack both of them. And then both of them, one goes from the smartest guy in the world to a dope who's trying to take food out of children's mouths or something. I don't really even know what you got to with Elon, but that one seems nuts. So you're going to go burn some Tesla dealerships. And then the other one is a madman who wants everyone to die of whooping cough because they didn't get vaccinated. Both huge lies, and you've shown your cards because any sensible, normal human being that did not have Trump derangement syndrome would go, I hate Donald Trump, and I'm disappointed that my hero, Kennedy Jr., went, and Elon Musk, another hero who've done a lot of good for our society, went to work for Trump, even though I understand their cause is noble. They would like kids to eat healthier meals, and they would like to colonize Mars and save money for the taxpayer via Doge. That's what a normal person would do, but they have to pillory both of them, which means they're fucking liars. And it also makes Chelsea Handler dope. Makes her dumb.
Yeah.
I want to hear this. Let's hear her side one more time. I don't know what it means that you can't live in it. You can totally rebuild a house in about a year.
Yeah.
If you need to. I don't know why she can't live in it. And I don't know what's wrong with Dennis Leary, because Dennis Leary, everyone call dopes out. What do you mean 5 years you can't live in the house?
See, the mental state that you're in, I would walk up and fucking have a conversation. A real conversation about how you feel about things.
Listen, he's been confronted so many times about his ethics and his views, and he doesn't give a shit what anyone thinks anyway, so it's not going to make an impact on him. I would, just to get my rocks off, I would like to have a go at him. Just some background information. I bought RFK Jr.'s house in Los Angeles 5 years ago. I still have not lived in this house. That's how fucked up this house was. The idea that this guy is in charge of the health of our country when he didn't even have a proper foundation at his house. And when they opened up the house, they were like, this house is the most toxic environment. You cannot live here for at least 2 years.
I see him all the time, and I'm like, what did you do to Chelsea's house?
What
Yeah.
did you do to
Well,
Chelsea's
and-
house?
well-
Fucking don't buy the fucking house,
Yeah.
bitch, but fix the house.
The fact that in 5 years you can't, as an adult who has a career, cannot find enough contractors or people to be able to fix this house for you. Maybe we shouldn't give you a podcast, Chelsea. Get the fuck out. Hit the road.
I don't get what's wrong with the foundation. By the way, like I said, she's full of shit.
Yeah.
The foundation gets inspected. If there's a problem with it, it can be fixed in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, if normally 3 days, like literally injecting epoxy into the cracks and putting a couple straps up and maybe pouring a little extra footing or something. It's nothing. I have no fucking idea what she's talking about. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And I'm driving through the Palisades on the way home. Some of those houses are stuccoed, wrapped with a roof on them now. Like most contractors can do a house from the ground up in a year pretty easily. And I'm talking about 6,000 square foot. Like I'm talking about a big house with nice tile and fixtures and everything else. So 5 years can't.
Seems crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Well, it's not crazy. She's lying.
Yeah,
and
you're right. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
She's choosing not to live there. And also, whatever her enabler bitches are, someone should pipe up and go, "Hey, unfunny person.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Do you want to live in that house?
Yeah.
You want to live? Look, if the house has let's say mold or something, you can just strip it. You can just strip all the drywall and insulation and re-insulate and re-sheetrock it.
Yeah. Also, if you bought this house from George Clooney, would you be on your podcast right now going, that son of a bitch, George Clooney, this thing was such a piece of shit when I bought it for $5.9 million. Where have you been living the last 5 years?
Very good point. And not only that, it's the part that makes it really egregious is I don't know Elon Musk, but I do know Kennedy, and he is one of the most personable, likable, friendly, smartest guys I've ever met who just wants to fix shit.
Yeah.
Your kids were eating shit. The food pyramid was capsized, and he wants you to eat better. Mm-hmm. He wants prisoners to eat better. Really?
Yeah.
You're angry.
Two of the biggest concerns amongst parents when it comes to health are, number one, getting chemicals out of food, and number two, getting pharmaceutical ads off of television. That's one of the biggest ones. Well, there's a guy that you could have in office that could take care of that shit, but you guys all want to just pile on him.
It's so weird. But that's when it shows, by the way, that's when you realize it's kind of a disease, and it attracts. It affects more women than men, but it affects men as well. But not men that are wired like men. Only mostly men that are wired like pussies. But I'll give you a kind of an example. Here's what men can do and women can't do. And this is part of what we're dealing with and part of the problem. Now, keep in mind, Gavin Newsom, watch how he crosses his legs. He's probably out brooch shopping right now, if I know Gavin. Gavin's going to the brooch shop to do some brooch shopping, and he's probably like, do you have a seat? I want to try these on. Well, you can stand in front of the mirror. Let's go ahead and pull the seat up in front of the mirror. I want to see how my legs cross deeply look with this brooch on. But let me explain. This is going to ring true to all of you. All of you. And you'll have to admit I'm right. Men have guys they don't like and they think are douchebags and they hate, right? And so those guys will go, fuck Frank. Frank's an asshole. He only thinks of himself. Frank only worries. You know who Frank worries about? Frank. Right. Doesn't do anything. He's a fucking douchebag. And then you go, well, I agree with you, but remember, you did have to leave that volleyball tournament where your daughter and Frank's daughter were playing, and Frank did offer to drive your daughter home after the game and then stopped off at Cane's and got her some food. And then you go, yeah, okay. I still don't like Frank, but fine. I'm glad he drove her home, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what women do. Women go, I hate Francine. See what I do there?
Sure.
She's a bitch. I don't trust her and I hate her guts. And then you go, what about that time she hung out at the volleyball game and drove your daughter home after you had to leave early? And then women go, I bet she was talking shit about me the whole drive, and she only did it so she could talk to our daughter and fucking poison her brain. That's what women do. That's all women do. They can't give it up. They cannot. Once someone is bad, they're bad. So you're a bad guy because you don't want kids to get 85 injections or because Trump likes you. Fine. But at a certain point, bitch, when he wants to get red dye number 17 out of the candy and he wants to get your kids eating more healthy foods and he wants the environment cleaned up, bitch, you got to give it up. You have to give it up and go, don't like the guy, but at least he drove the kid home from volleyball.
Yeah.
Right? Guys can do it. Women cannot. You try to get your woman to turn the corner on someone she doesn't like. You just go, all right. You hate this guy. He's a douche. He's a rat. He's a whatever. He did do. You fill in that blank. They'll go. You know what they'll do? They'll ascribe some motive to it. He only did that to get into your good graces so he could fucking hit you up for a job. That's what they do. They cannot give it up. It's it's part of their wiring.
Yeah.
And so the Trump derangement syndrome, it doesn't matter how many wars are ended and how many cultures are liberated and what he did for the historically black college or closed. It does not matter. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
There's nothing that can be done.
There's a lot of dude comics that I will go, can't stand that guy, hate being in the green room with him, but goddamn can they get on stage and bring the heat. You know? Yeah.
Right.
Give credit where credit is due.
Women will go, hate that bitch comic. Not funny.
Not funny.
Never been fun. That's the way they do it. Now, that being said, I mean what I said about Chelsea.
Yeah. But you did give her credit. You said, hey, she's not funny, but she is skilled, which surrounding yourself with other funny people to make your show number one is a skill.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a skill. She is a skilled comic.
Donald Trump has brutally ridiculed Gavin Newsom's dyslexia, calling him unfit to be president.
I love this clip. But there is, I don't know why I always think about Chelsea Handler, but she wrote a book about her in Africa or something. And the title of the book was Uganda Be Kidding Me, I think it was. And was it her on an elephant with her top off? I don't know. The top's always coming off. Anyway, sorry, Trump.
Yeah, Trump. We'll bring this clip up here in just a second where Trump is making fun of Gavin Newsom and his dyslexia. He said, honestly, I'm all for people with having disabilities, but not for my president. The president should not have a learning disability.
Oh, our computer had a little...
Oh, did it freeze up there?
Had a little hiccup. Yeah. It is... I went through this with Constantine, I think his name is, from the Burbank City Council, the folks who shut down Tin Horn Flats. Me and Mark Garagos were making fun of him, and he's like, I have a disability. I'm on the spectrum. And I'm like, hey, if you're retarded, don't run a city.
Yeah.
How about that? How about, hey, all retards, string beads, eat pudding, watch your daytime TV, count toothpicks after they fall on the ground. Do not run cities because part of you destroyed my friend's business, maybe because you're part tard.
Sure.
And I think Trump is saying that about Gavin Newsom here.
That he has learning disabilities. Gavin Newsom has admitted that he has learning disabilities. Honestly, I'm all for people with learning disabilities, but not for my president. I think a president should not have learning disabilities, okay? And I know it's highly controversial to say such a horrible thing. The President of the United States, Gavin Newsom, admitted that he has learning disabilities, dyslexia, everything about him is dumb.
Yeah, you're dumb. And by the way, you saying to me, which is everyone does, they go, I'm on the spectrum, I'm half retard, and I slept in my car. That just means you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
I don't want you running anything. You slept in your fucking car, and you're half a tard. Fuck off. What is the guy from Burbank City Council? Constantine something.
I think you should run on that platform. If you're sleep in your car, then you're a tard. If you sleep in your car, yeah. All right. All right.
Yeah, so
Is that the guy? Constantine Anthony?
Yes. He's a very harrowing story of being retarded and sleeping in his car, and then also helping shut down Tin Horn Flats and put a family business of 50 plus years out on the street, putting a gate around a business because you guys were scared of COVID, even though you had no proof that outdoor dining. There's no science on outdoor dining being dangerous. You decided to do this shit on your own. Well, actually, sorry, Newsome, the other guy with the learning disability, decided that outdoor dining was dangerous, even though there's no papers that said outdoor dining was dangerous. And then you retard snapped into action, and now Tin Horn Flats is no more. And there's no repercussions, and there's no checks cashed, and there's no apologies.
Yeah.
That's good. And then there's the assholes. Sorry, like Jerry's daughter and wife, who want more of this. You want to live in a world with more Gavin Newsom and more businesses put out and more shutdowns and more overreach. You guys want more of that. That's my argument. Okay, you hate Trump, or maybe you hate Steve Hilton, who's running for governor of California. But you love Gavin Newsom? You love Tim Walz? You love Gretchen Whitmer? Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan shut down lakes and boating, and you couldn't go to home centers and get gardening equipment, but not for her and her husband. They launched a boat. That's what you want. You want more of that.
Yeah.
You want more incompetent, scared people fucking your world up. That's what you want. You want... Gavin Newsom took bulldozers and scooped sand into skate parks at the beach. That's what you want. And I'm an insane person for not wanting that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you know? You don't know anything.
Well, that's because Tim Walz and his cronies are going to bring back the joy. Let's bring back the joy. Well, hopefully some immigrants bring it with them over the border, since the borders are going to be wide open too.
That clip of what's his name getting into Tim Walz about asking him about, what percentage of Somalis are on welfare and it was fucking overwhelming. It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking nuts. So listen, if you guys, whether it's your girlfriend or it's Jerry O'Connell's wife and kids, if you guys were talking about putting Bill Clinton circa 1996 up versus Trump, well, then you have an argument. But when you have insane people who think men are women and women are men and don't believe in fucking borders and want to hand out welfare to everyone and want to crush school choice and get mobbed up with the teachers unions, and don't like gas-powered automobiles and believe in global warming and want to fuck everything, if that's your person, then fuck off. If it's sensible, normal Bill Clinton circa 1996, well, then you have an argument.
Yeah.
And then and by the way, I could be swayed, but that's not what you have. You have crazed fucking jihadists, essentially, who fucking love you love immigrants, you love illegal immigrants, and you fucking hate citizens.
Yeah.
Fuck off. All right. That's it.
Yeah.
Where are we going? This Sunday, Santa Ana, California, Jordan Family Classic Cars. The Newman collection got moved there, so we're doing a live pod. And also, Jay Moore is going to come out, say hi as well. And then Rudy will be there. Norfolk, Nebraska, District Event Center. A couple of shows Friday, a couple of shows Saturday. That's the 27th, 28th. And then off to Lincoln on the way home. Howard Comedy Club. You just go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. And the merch store's up, too. So you can check that out at adamcarolla.com. Rudy, what do you got?
This Friday, I will be in Oakdale, Minnesota for Next Stop Comedy. And then Saturday, the 21st, you can catch me in Monroe, Wisconsin. And then on the 27th, I'll be in Lowertown, St. Paul at Gambit Brewing for their 3rd year anniversary show. And then on the 29th, catch me in Lincoln, Nebraska with you, Ace.
And also, check the vlog out. The Fire Vlog's up on YouTube. New episode coming up this weekend.
Great.
Getting into the rebuilding.
Yeah.
So until next time, Sam for Rudy Pavich and Chris Hansen saying mahalo.
The Adam and Dr. Drew Show.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on a jet bed. I'm going to get it on. That dude 457. Dig specialist. What's going on, man?
Oh, man, so much. Nice mention by Rogan about your construction background.
Yeah.
Which I thought was, it was the first time I'd heard that sort of acknowledged that way. You know what I mean? In the sense that people send around your videos about the pathetic response to the fire site and, you know, the lack of ability to get permits for construction and the Palisades. But he just said it very succinctly. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He's dealt with this he comes from construction. He predicted it on day one. And that was that.
Yeah, people. Let's break this down. I'm having a seizure. Oh, I have thoughts. Because I brought that male-female article in that I sent you that I was reading again and sort of underlining things. And here's what I've kind of
read an article.
9 pages printed out, bro. It's a lot of reading for this,
and with intention.
With intention. What I've sort of figured out is with me and a field of expertise, and I've been drilling down on this for quite some time because I think it's important, even though I'm not sure at the time why it's important. But I notice women and dumb dudes are real dismissive of expertise, you know, and it's a lot of like, I'll go sort of extreme examples, but like Maria Alonso Conchita Sanchez, who's a district select woman of San Diego, tells Elon Musk to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
That dope doesn't know what he's doing.
Right.
We don't need him.
Right.
What's he ever done? Okay, Dumbo. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's how they talk.
Yes.
All the time, and I've noticed dumb people do that. Women do it a lot, and dumb people do it. They go, they don't really recognize expertise.
Listen.
And by the way, it's intentional because they don't have to then listen to you.
Well, it's also narcissistic, right?
Yes.
Because I remember that a lot when I was in medical school and residency. I did a lot of hanging out in gyms and working out when I could. And guys would always come up to me and go, Dumbos. And come up and go, yeah, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Right.
I'm like, do you understand how hard it was for me to get here?
Right.
And they would say it with complete like, yeah, I'll turn my attention that way one of these days, and I'm going to do that. So part of the lack of understanding of expertise is an abject, it's Dunning-Kruger, an abject lack of understanding of what goes into expertise.
Right. Yeah, but it's also the groundwork for not listening to the person. There's an agenda that is attached to it that is there to sort of set the table of, you know, Elon Musk, what's that guy know? You know, they do a lot of, like, when I'll tell you the people that do it a lot. The people who answer their own questions, they go, Elon Musk, what's that guy know?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, okay, he doesn't know anything.
Yes.
You're right.
Right.
You're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right. You fucking chick with 9 Latin surnames who's running San Diego into the ground. You have a much greater understanding of how to run companies or cities or build whatever. There are all these people. And so they're constantly trying to, well, I mean, there's sort of an extreme version of it, you know, when they go, what's Donald Trump want? He wants cruelty.
Oh, yeah.
Cruelty to kids. Cruelty to those who look different than him. No, he's a builder who wants to fix shit. And he's in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
Yeah.
And then
they want you to acknowledge me and talk.
Right.
Talk to me.
Well, I'm reading this article, which I suggest you guys all read. It's by Helen Andrews. And it's in Compact magazine.
Entitled?
The Great Feminization.
Yeah.
Now, actually, I was thinking about it, and Andrew, if you can find the beginning of the pilot of The Man Show, which I think we must have written in like 98, because it was a pilot on ABC before it was a Comedy Central
and we'd
show.
been on Loveline a couple of years at that point when you went to air.
That is correct.
And we went to Loveline was...
But we didn't go to air.
No, but Loveline was like 97, really, when we were in full swing, right?
No, you just said when you went to air. But Man Show sat for a year before it went to air.
Yeah.
But we had to do the pilot, which we must have written in 97 or 98. So now we're 25 plus. We're coming on to 30 years old. And in the opening scene on the Hoover Dam, we were talking about the great feminization wave that was coming over the city.
Little did you know that one of you would be completely subsumed by it.
Dragged out to sea, clinging to a tampon for life. To stay afloat, The Great Feminization is the name of this article from, 10 minutes ago.
Written by a woman.
Yeah. And the reason I try not to make a deal of that, because part of the problem we've gotten into in this society is, well, you're not black. I have black friends. This guy, this guy's a black guy. He likes Trump. It's like, fuck off. I can have opinions. These people all the time, it's like, how can you talk about the black community? How the fuck can I talk about any community?
Right.
I have opinions, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
What do you know about what do I know about women? What do I know about dogs?
Right.
You're not a black lab. Yeah, but I have thoughts. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I have thoughts about UPS drivers. I don't drive for UPS.
Yeah.
Do you understand how thoughts work?
Yes.
It's like, fuck off. You
I've always hated
have to be like a black woman to,
Listen,
fuck off.
It started in medicine where people were like, if you're not a recovering person, how can you do addiction medicine? It's like, would you have to have cancer and each kind of cancer to be an oncologist? What are we talking about here?
I built people super expensive custom homes and lived in an apartment. Right. How are you able to build a
Right.
Because I know how to build a custom home, and then I go home to my shitty apartment.
Right.
That's how I do it.
Right.
I don't live in the custom home. Right. Okay. We have the beginning, and I haven't seen this in a million years, but it struck me as we're talking about it, as I was reading the feminization, that this is, 20, almost 30 years old in its inception.
But hang on a second. Don't air it yet. Because for some weird reason, this opening stayed with me like some sort of...
Monkeys farting?
Well, that stayed with me too.
I know. That's true. His favorite bit.
No, but this thing of you guys, I remember you guys putting your hands. I haven't seen it in 20 years. You guys put your hand on the wall and lean into the thing, and it stayed with me. Some sort of like moment. Like I didn't fully get it. Obviously, I was a acolyte of the other side in this, and I'm part of the problem, of course.
Yes, you are.
Apologies.
Yes,
Wherever I can apologize, I will. But it's weird that it stayed with me so vividly because I knew it meant something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just didn't fully understand it.
All right, sorry.
Okay, here we go.
6.6 million tons of concrete, harnessing nearly 1 trillion gallons of water.
16,000 men spent half a decade building it. They lived in shacks and tents along its base without drinking water, toilets, or shelter from the desert heat.
More than 100 of these men gave their lives to this dam. Their bodies are paved over in its walls. Its 2 million kilowatt capacity powers the greatest city in the world, Las Vegas.
And just as these heroic men did more than 60 years ago, we are building a dam.
A dam to hold back the tidal wave of feminization that is flooding this country.
A dam to stop the river of estrogen that is drowning us in political correctness.
A dam to urinate off of when we're really drunk.
We call this dam the Man Show.
Now, when did the Man Show first air? That's the question. Because that is from the pilot.
Yeah.
And the pilot was shot for ABC.
Yes.
So it was June 1999. So this would have been a year earlier, which would have been 98.
Yeah.
And then we would have conceived and written this before that.
Oh, you were talking about
obviously.
this shit when we were doing Loveline for sure before that.
Yeah. So now we're there.
Yeah.
Okay. But somebody saw it coming.
But who?
The guy who everyone says, shut up, don't listen to him, or you're wrong.
Right. Without being critical of Jimmy, how would he look at this now? Would he feel I was wrong to have said that? Would he say things have changed? I've changed I'm sweat. How would he look at his position now versus then? I've matured. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he would say he's evolved or something.
Yeah.
I guess.
Would he say that was a false premise? It just didn't exist and it no longer? Because that's what a lot of the pushback is now. It's just a talking point. Far right. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Well,
you were far right then, right? 25 years ago.
I highlighted
almost 30 years ago.
That's what I said 5 minutes ago. Female, this is according to this article, but this is kind of what we're dealing with. Female group dynamics favor consensus and cooperation.
Yeah.
Men order each other around, but women can only suggest and persuade.
Yes.
Any criticism or negative sentiment, if it absolutely must be expressed, needs to be buried in layers of compliments. That's what women do. The outcome of a discussion is less important than the fact that the discussion was held and everyone participated in it. The outcome of the discussion
doesn't matter.
Is less important than the fact that we had it. Remember, I told you all those times when I talked to my ex-wife, she'd be satiated. She'd go, I called the cable company.
Yeah.
And what happened? Nothing happened.
Yeah.
But we had the conversation.
Yeah.
And then I would tell you all the dumbos on the city council, all the Yenta cows would all get together and argue about homelessness and then go to lunch, and then that would be that.
Yeah.
And nothing would come out the other end. And then I showed you when Karen Bass was sitting there with Trump, and Trump was like, hurry, build, hurry, clean these lots and start building. She's like, whoa, slow down. And then I started calling it process.
Yes,
Process,
that's what
people.
It's
process. We have a majority feminine mindset in Los Angeles, and we sit and we talk.
You know what's interesting?
And nothing ever happens because it's a feminine thing.
Yeah. And female process addiction is about talking. Male process addiction, porn.
Right.
Isn't that weird?
Yes. So the article goes on. The most important sex difference in group dynamics is attitude to conflict. In short, men wage conflict openly while women covertly undermine and ostracize their enemies.
Of course.
Right. Okay. And get nothing done. And get nothing done.
And build coalitions done.
Right. And get nothing done. Yeah. Okay. So if you're going to live...
And by the way, that first sentence, if you'd read that to me in 1999, I would have said immediately, yeah, that's right. They're better. You see?
Female group dynamics favor consensus and cooperation. Men order each other around.
I would have gone, okay, see, Adam, I told you.
Right.
That's what I got wrong.
It sounds good.
Apologies.
Right. But if you live in a city that has a feminine dynamic, then you shall get nothing done.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. And by the way, you're not saying all women are feminized.
No.
Marine Le Pen,
whoever wrote this art, Helen Andrews is not feminized.
Maloney, Le Pen.
Oh no, there's plenty of them. And then there's Gavin Newsom, who wears a cadre of bracelets and crosses his legs deeper. With a deeper cross than Obama.
Somebody needs to do a study of feminization and leg crossing.
He's full chick. Well, but I mean, you have to. Justin Trudeau's a fucking bitch. I mean, he's just a chick. 100%. Now, that's how Obama's that way. That's how they present. Now, I'm sure Obama's a douche off whatever, I'm sure he's horrible, but he presents.
Yeah.
That's why he does the super steep leg cross and the sort of sits in a sort of posture and chooses his words. He's very feminine, but I'm sure processy. It's all process. Yeah. And I told Andrew to pull a short audio clip of Trump talking about building noises, by the way, which is, it makes me laugh because I've told everyone Trump's a builder.
Yeah.
And builders are in a hurry.
They're in a hurry, and they got to get the right subs. You've taught me.
You got to get
which is an interesting new thing that I had not thought about.
You have to have all the right subs.
And
otherwise,
you got to fire them. Otherwise, just gone. Next.
You
next,
can't
next.
work fast if you don't have the right subs.
Yeah.
But this is him. It's funny.
This again, I'm going to get a ballroom built, and we're putting up our own money with the government is paying for nothing. You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh, that's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it, Josh. I think when I hear that sound, it reminds me of money. In this case, it reminds me of lack of money because I'm paying for it. So it's the opposite.
All right, here's the point.
But
my mom would be annoyed by the sound of building.
And she'd be outraged by that whole.
She didn't like that. He said money. He said building.
Yeah.
We don't like it. Now let's get him off the. Yeah. He couldn't hang with the LA City Council.
Hang on now. I'm just thinking. What was the? I'm not going to even ask you this question. I'm going to state it. Their ultimate complaint, ultimately, that what would be superior to the money and construction is too many people, right? That's always what they complained about. Your mom and her type. Overpopulation. Overpopulation.
You got to say overpopulation. Too many people. Could mean
sorry.
The room
Too
was
many people
crowded.
in the world. So
too many people.
So your mom would literally be relieved and supportive of the drop in the birth rate now that's going on.
They didn't like anything that involved progress. They liked everything was
for sure,
regressive.
but they also did not like people. Really get right down to it. They didn't like people.
They felt that people hurt the planet.
Yeah.
And so if if people weren't people, they were just aphids, and we lived in a garden, then they'd want less aphids because they love the garden.
Right.
And that's the way they looked at people.
That's right. Which is not a deep appreciation of the human experience.
I don't know that you had that for the human experience. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this. On the theme of me being right about everything all the time and forever, somebody
took a while, but
listen. Here's how you want to know how long it takes for me to be right?
30 years.
No, there's no time. There's no actual calendar set to it.
What are you asking exactly?
How long it takes for people?
Not time.
For me to be right.
So I'm going to struggle with this. Like for consensus to be built.
I'm setting up a joke. Just shut up.
Okay. Go ahead.
See,
I don't know when you're being serious. When
I
you're setting
know
up a joke.
it's not 30 years, and it's not 10 years. It's the amount of time it takes for people to forget what I said initially.
Oh yeah.
And then we can go to
yes.
Right. That's how it works. They have to initially forget what I was talking about the whole fucking time, and then we can embrace some new thing, which is new to them, but it's old to me because that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
The peanuts. We tweeted it out, Andrew, which is it turns out you got to expose very young infants to peanuts.
Yeah.
So they won't be allergic.
That's right.
Because everyone is allergic to peanuts, and then we took all the peanuts out of the house.
Think about this. Why very young? Why infant? Why?
Right.
Because the immune system is different in that age group.
Yes.
Therefore, unlimited vaccines is a good thing to an evolving immune system. Is that good? Bad? I don't know.
Look, these fucking safety. By the way, it's another feminine thing. The safety uber alles bullshit is getting people killed.
Yes.
In 15 years, in 50 years, we'll all be chicks. I wrote about this in my book, and now it turns out research, Drew. Turns out the research.
Could have just asked Adam.
Turns out that the peanuts are important. Exposure, as Drew talks about. I remember going into a friend's house about 18 years ago, and I was just sitting in his kitchen. It was kind of a modest thing, and I knew he didn't have a bunch of good food for me to eat like a Drew's house. But I said, man, I'm hungry. I just want to get a scoop of peanut butter. And he said, yeah, no peanut butter. And I said, oh, man, you always keep some peanut butter. Get a nice scoop of peanut butter. And he goes, yeah, oh, no, we got it out of the house. I go, what was it out of the house? Oh, my daughter's allergic. I go, your daughter's 6 months old.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but she's in a crib in the other room. Yeah, but the wife said, let's get out of the house.
Oh, my God.
I said, well, just put it up on I don't fucking word.
Yeah.
Put it up on the shelf. Just put it up in the cabinet up top where the glasses are. Yeah, I know, but she wanted it out. By the way, this is a problem because if that bitch is coming at me, I go, fuck off. I want my peanut butter. I'm not going to put it in their crib, but I think I'm responsible enough to own peanut butter. And by the way, they're allergic to peanut butter? Really? Is everyone allergic to peanut butter? But also, the peanut butter that's in the kitchen up on the upper shelf is not going to find its way into the infant's hands. So, no, I'm not going to go put the peanut butter in the garage, you crazy cow. But he just went and removed it from the house, which is the problem. That's the problem. Guys should have went fuck off. If you want to, listen, bitch, if you want to be nuts, do it on your dime. I'm not crazy. I can live in a house with peanut butter.
My appreciation for my father-in-law is going up so much these days. He spent 2 years in the hull of a ship in the Pacific during World War II, came out, became an engineer after the GI Bill, worked for Ford Aviation for a while, then got fired in the giant layoffs of the 70s, ended up buying hardware stores. And he took my wife at a very young age, like 4, and brought her into the garage all the time, taught her to fix things. Toilets, plumbing, carpentry, everything. Way better than I am.
Oh, yeah.
And, I crossed my legs, man.
Yeah,
so,
deep cross. Pioneer.
And the point is, I can't remember exactly what happened, but the other day we had something go wrong. I think it was a plumbing thing, and she just got on it, just like fixed it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good.
You got to, I mean, you don't got to, but when you own a home with multiple bathrooms and things like that, it's nice to have somebody who knows their way around under that roof.
Yeah.
Agreed. Andrew, the article, by the way, which you took down, which is fine, but I did kind of want to see what the peanut article is, but I'll paraphrase. You got to expose kids. And when I say kids, I mean infants.
The CNN article.
Yeah.
Advice to feed babies peanuts early and often help 60,000 kids avoid allergy, study finds. Okay. So how long did it take that one to come for us to forget about what you said?
We just had to wait till we forgot about what I was saying.
I'm saying, how long did that take this time?
I don't know. Andrew, maybe not for this show.
Well, you know what's weird? I'm just thinking, all this stuff is very familiar to me, that you've been saying it since the 90s. My question is, how long before that were you saying it?
I'm sure I always thought about it, and I was talking to guys on a construction site, so it didn't really, it wasn't chronicled.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't into a microphone.
I can bear witness.
And now it was chronicled.
Peanut allergy. 40 years, right? That you were.
I've always listen. Here's what I've always done, and Andrew, you can see if in 50 years we'll all be chicks. My first book, and I don't know if it's on the computer, and you can just write peanut or allergies or something like that. I think, but I must have written about it. I would sit around and hear stories. Now, the one you like the best. Actually, you don't like it the best, but I cite it the most, which is the high schoolers from the Catholic school went to Maui and annoyed dolphins.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, man can't swim faster than 3 miles an hour, and the dolphins swim at 30 miles an hour. So I don't know how much annoying was going on.
Right.
Be like guy in wheelchair annoys Usain Bolt, I don't think so. I think he could just get away from him if he wanted to. So I hear stories like, I would sit around on a construction site going, how's everyone allergic to peanuts, when I've never met anyone who was allergic to peanuts? And how come when I was in school, not that long ago, 15 years ago, nobody was allergic to peanuts, and now everyone's allergic to peanuts, and they have to have a peanut-free zone and a special bench for people who want to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and Southwest is and I go, no, something's wrong. I don't buy it.
Same with autism, right?
Yeah, same with everything. I don't. None of the shit started. Human biology does not evolve or devolve everything. Yeah, you got to drink. Okay, you take your weight. Then you translate it then into ounces, and then every hour you drink 200 ounces of water. No. How come everyone was skinny when they didn't drink water? No one carried water. Everyone was skinny. How do you explain nobody carrying water and everyone being skinny, and now you must drink water in order to maintain your weight and lose weight, but everyone is fat, so I don't buy it.
And then football. Just
Right.
our experience with football in the 70s.
No water. So I would sit around and know what was happening all the time. And then stuff like COVID comes in and blah, 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 blah. And that's like, all right, we're going to mask up in between bites, stuff like that. Now, mask up in between bites is like an absurd extreme of what not to listen to.
Yes.
But the peanut thing and the autism thing and the transgender thing and the hydrate thing, that's pretty discernible too. It's not as patently insane as masking up in between bites, but it's one strata below in the what the fuck are these people talking about? I'm no longer listening.
Well, the safety uber alles thing is the sort of
big problem.
Yeah, that
people don't think is a big problem.
Well, you said it, so they have to catch up with you.
Drew.
Yeah.
In the safety uber alles thing. Yeah. Now, because you think safety uber alles is about removing the peanuts from the Southwest flight on the off chance that somebody's going to have an allergic reaction.
No, I think
go ahead.
I just think about many, many, many other things, including a total denial of death.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're just
there's a lot of put the helmet on.
Yeah.
When most people think about safety, they think about airbags and crumple zones and stuff like that.
It's the opposite of, hey, let's go forth. Let's explore.
Right. But there's an even deeper, broader safety uber alles thing that's not just about elbow pads and helmets when you're skateboarding and that, like a very focused kind of thing. When I've yelled at you about building and permitting and red tape and codes, right? And I'm looking at this place that they're starting to get to work on PCH, and I'm looking at what they're doing, and they're drilling these caissons into the ground that are 6 stories deep, and they're doing them all over the place. And I said to the guy, the foreman over there, I go, what do you got into the foundation? By the way, not before you can see any. There's nothing above the soil. Right. It's just a soil line. He goes, $2 million plus. Okay, so
for one house,
a small house. 2,000 square foot.
Yeah.
I said. So what I'm saying is it's safety. It's safety. It's safety. Okay, but it doesn't need to be this safe. You do not need caissons going 6 stories into the ground. It's crazy visually to see the cages that get lowered in and go on forever. But you are now building something in the name of, we're an earthquake country, in the name of safety, you're building something that's 10,000 times as strong as it needed to be. And by the way, the former structure just had piles, telephone poles going into the ground, like the pier does.
Yeah.
There's a quarter mile away. There's a pier that was built in 1905.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah.
There's no caissons.
No.
There's no cement. It's just piles.
And I thought the Coastal Commission wanted reclamation. I thought they wanted us to build stuff that the ocean could take back when it wants to.
So in the name of safety, uber alles, this homeowner's going to put $2.5 million into the ground before they can start building.
Yeah.
And it is the structure of this is mind-numbing. And I don't know, you have to picture 6-story buildings in the ground, 30 of them.
Oh.
30 of these holes, 30 inches wide, cages. I took a couple of pictures. Andrew pull a cage up for you whenever he returns.
These are like rebar cages kind of thing?
Yeah, sorry. We won't, we'll find the peanut in the book, Andrew, who may have left. I don't know. I don't feel like leaving is a good thing. Dawson does it sometimes. You don't know.
It could be an emergency.
It could be an emergency, but...
no, I'm just trying to find the book.
I know, but if you check the clock, that's not going to happen right now. But it'll happen maybe next show. The book, I don't know. They used to be on
That was a compliment, Andrew, just so you know.
Yeah, they used to be on the computer, but I guess they're not on the computer. Someone has to physically get the book. I don't know. Anyway, Andrew, show Drew the picture of the rebar cage. That's what I'm saying, because it's mind-numbing when you realize what we're doing in the name of safety. And
like
then
Cleopatra's obelisk.
Cleopatra's obelisk?
Like 6 stories high, and they couldn't get it to stand up.
What I'm saying to everyone is they go, you know, my mom, oh, no, forget my mom. You know what Jane Fonda would say? What's wrong? So what?
More. Need more.
We need more.
More.
Why not? What's wrong with being safe? And the answer is, I'll tell you what's wrong with it.
Oh, my God, look at that.
What are you looking at, Drew?
I'm looking at a mile of rebar, it looks like. It's just these tubes of they're rebar, the metal where the concrete's going to be poured into it. But it looks like a quarter mile. It's crazy.
It is going off into there. That's 6 stories. It's getting lowered into every hole.
Crazy.
And then nothing will protrude past the ground.
Yeah.
That crazy? Now, Jane Fonda would go, why not do 7 stories?
Yeah, she who has Ted Turner's money. She doesn't give a shit about...
Right, but so what I'm saying to her is, you could go 8 or 10 stories into the ground, but someone has to pay for that. Yeah. Why should the homeowner have to pay for this? I mean, a commercial airliner could hit it. It would withstand the force. You know, it's just a house. The house was built in the 50s, and it had telephone poles going in the ground.
Made it nearly 100 years.
Right. Number one. Well, it would still be there except for the fire that you guys didn't manage took it out.
Exactly.
Right.
It wasn't the ocean. It wasn't the water.
Right. And, you know, it's funny. What the city does run is the telephone poles and the electric wires, which are on telephone poles, which are 4 feet away.
Right.
Now that's good enough. Good enough to use the pole for them.
Yeah.
They don't have the money to sink piles, a pilasters.
Well, that's the general note. The general note is unlimited capacity to ask citizens for money. Or to demand the money, whether it's in the name of safety and their own investment or to the government.
Right.
And the worst at managing, let's face it, anything. Certainly capital. The worst at managing capital. I heard somebody talking today about complaining that Amazon wasn't paying taxes. Like, because they reinvest in the business. Would you rather that money go to the sinkhole that is government? And by the way, in the meantime, because they're growing so fast, they create $9 billion of taxes for the properties and the employees and they create billions of dollars.
I know. These are just simpleton dumbos. All right, Flappers, October 29th, everyone. Coming right up, everyone. And then Boston, that'll be the 6th of November at the Wilbur Theater, which is a great old theater over there. And then Buffalo, New York, Electric City, that'll be the 7th. Go to adamcarolla.com for all the live dates. What do you got, Drew?
Doctor.com, and look for on X at Dr. Drew. Look for the streaming show Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday at 2, Wednesday at 4.
So until next time, Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying mahalo. All right, what do we got with the news?
Well, speaking of people within the Trump administration, Donald Trump has signed an executive order for the feds to take over LA's current nightmare situation to rebuild and boost huge home opportunities to hopefully help rebuild. He actually, this story came out earlier today, and this is from just a few minutes ago, talking about it. He kind of lambasts, rightfully so, Gavin Newsom and Mayor Bass here.
It happened, but we got it all done in 20 days, the whole place. And yet now, still, more than a year later, they don't have permits. Almost nobody is building. So I haven't told this to Lee Zeldin yet, but I'm going to put you in charge of getting permits. I think we're going to override the local authorities because they're never going to have it. And when I was told that there's a provision where you can override the local authority to get things done, because it's really, to me, it's a national emergency. What they've done to these people is horrible. It's just horrible. And they'll still vote Democrat. Can you believe it? After all, they get used to it. Although I must say we converted many. We'll probably convert a lot more. But I just want them to get into their houses. And I don't want a big section of the area built into low-income housing. They want to put low-income housing right smack in the middle of it. And that's not the American dream, you know? You didn't do that. And low-income housing is great. I built a lot of low-income housing, but you don't put it there. This is one of the richest neighborhoods in the world, and we're going to let those people, and I recommend it strongly that everybody gets the immediate approval to build a house, and you give them a 10% bonus so they can build a house. 10% larger than they had before if they weren't for all the suffering they've been caused.
All right, you can pause it for a second. So, LA, here's basically LA and California sort of in a nutshell. If you want to know, like, what is your relationship with the government like? Okay, the relationship is they will completely screw the pooch in terms of fire prevention. They will not manage the forest. They will have an empty aqueduct and will have dry fire hydrants and will cut back on staffing for the fire department. And we will mismanage the whole thing to the point where huge swaths of the city get burned to the ground. Okay, that's the first part.
Yep.
In terms of politics in LA and who we're dealing with. Second part is then when it comes to rebuilding, we'll not expedite anything. We'll be overly stringent about every permit, and there's going to be tons of red tape, and you'll not be able to rebuild. Now, to me, I don't know what gets worse than that, because it needs to be one or the other. It needs to be either, look, we're a little tough in the permitting, but we are so well planned out in fire preventions, you're never going to need to rebuild.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We got you.
Or it could be, listen, we are irresponsible, drunken sailors when it comes to fire prevention, but if you need a permit, walk in and get it yourself, because we're super unresponsible with that, irresponsible with that. Okay, so, but what they are is super horrible when it comes to any sort of infrastructure and maintenance, and then super over the top, over officious about permits and everything else, which is now lose-lose. And to be fair, they can't help it. That's who they are.
Well, because they can't admit that the policies that they currently have in place have been utter failures.
Yes.
So they just keep repeating the failure because they know that they will always have this core group of really stupid people, mostly made up of billionaires and celebrities, that perpetuate and keep them in power.
Yes.
And for the people, because I know that this was something that he's been getting hit back on social media. I'm the nerd that went to the White House website to actually read the executive order. And like he mentions briefly there is actually when it comes to his power under the executive branch, his declaration of a major disaster for the state of California is allowed. It's immediate and decisive federal action that's required to ensure that the federal disaster assistance is delivered and utilized swiftly. So we'll see what the courts maybe decide the definition of swiftly is, effectively and without obstruction by state and local governments to accomplish the purposes for which it's allocated. The policy is to make sure that those federally funded reconstruction programs happen quickly at maximum speed. Once again, talking about without obstruction by state and local governments. I really actually think here a lot of these families in Altadena and in the Palisades should sue the city and local government for all of the permit holdups here.
Yeah, and what I want to say to the city, Karen Bass, who's a horrible, horrible mayor, and then what I like to say to Gavin Newsom's a horrible governor, is I think the same thing Trump would say, and the same thing I've had this conversation with many people in my life. I wish we didn't have to do this. I don't want to do this. You could have done it. We could have done it. You could have permitted it.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun. You could have let this happen, but you didn't. And you're totally incompetent.
Yeah.
And it's over a year now. So unfortunately, we must get involved in something that I'm sure Trump would rather worry about Greenland or Venezuela or any other thing.
Iran.
Or anything but this.
Interest rates.
But nothing. But he must, because you guys are incompetent. And I know you're angry, mostly because you're being shamed, but he didn't want any of this, just like we didn't want any of this in Minnesota.
Yep.
We wanted to take illegals who were criminals and remove them from the country, but you guys wouldn't let that happen, and now there's this.
I think the best part of this whole executive order is literally the preemption of state and local permitting processes. That's like, no, we're not dealing with this bullshit. Let these people rebuild. Why is the state and local municipalities holding them up so much? It's crazy. And I love Lee Zeldin. I love it that he's on the case now. That's awesome.
Me too. Because I'll tell you what, this is an opportunity for them. And when I say them, I mean California politicians and LA politicians. They will not let this go by. Just like COVID was the greatest gift ever. You mean I get to make rules? now? Yes. You mean I can tell people to stay in their house by just swiping my pen across a piece of paper? That's right. You can keep people locked up in their house. And how about shutting schools? Yes, you can do that too. How about shutting churches? All right, you can do that. How about, what if you canceled Laker games? Could you do that? I could do that. All of a sudden, they're drunk with fucking power.
Yeah.
And that's not the relationship we want with the government. But for some reason, people on the left want that and love it. I mean, it's on my mind, and so I'm going to bring it up, Andrew, because I'm going to go do Bill Maher's podcast.
Oh, that's awesome.
A little bit later today. And I will bring this up because the spokesperson for this is basically Jane Fonda. And when Bill Maher said, I mean, what I'm saying is the left at its worst is Jane Fonda. Mm-hmm. That's every bad idea on the left. And when Bill Maher said to Jane Fonda, and this was before the fires, I do believe, you can check the date, but he wasn't referring to the fires. He just said there's too much regulation in California. And she just went, I don't think there's enough. And I that's who these people are.
Which is so funny because they're also the my body, my choice assholes.
Right. But not your property.
Not about your property, not about, vaccinating your children, not about the education of your children, not about a small business, not about a permit to rebuild.
No, here's how it works. Her body is her property, but your property is the state's property. Your property's not your property, but Jane Fonda's body's her property.
Okay.
That's the logic.
But my property isn't my property.
That is not your property. This is before the fire. Okay, wow. So before the fire, he just said there's too many permits. And too much red tape, too much. And
he stated the obvious.
Yeah, she's like, not enough. He didn't say permits, sorry, but we'll play. Or it'll take a second. But the point is this. They get, and I'm sorry, it's a little bit of a feminine thing. Permitting is you have to go in and ask permission of them to do something.
Yeah.
And they get an adrenaline surge.
They love it.
Their nipples get hard when you go in there and go, could I have permission to do something? They go, oh, not so fast.
No, I think they like to hold the keys.
Right, they hold the keys. So COVID was great because they all dove on it because they love big government and they love shutting beaches and they love telling you what to do. And by the way, the less it made sense, the better for them because that's more control. And this is you having to ask them permission to build stuff and they go, ooh, not so fast. All right, here it is.
Doesn't like regulations. Well, we live in a soup of toxic chemicals. If we don't regulate it, we're all going to die of cancer.
That's true.
And he doesn't do anything.
There's also many regulations that aren't necessary, I mean, you really don't believe that the state we live in, California, is lacking regulation. There's over 300,000 regulations. I mean, Well, maybe they're needed. They're not. When I tried to put in a garage door, I had to have 3 inspections. I mean, there should have been none. I should be allowed to change my garage door.
Are you kidding? Really? It was about a garage door?
She's
Absolutely.
dumb, too.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is...
No, you know this.
She has her people do those things.
No, I don't.
Well,
run
sorry,
it back
I don't.
10 seconds. Sorry. She's such a pompous douche, by the way, but sorry, go ahead.
They're not. When I tried to put in a garage door, I had to have 3 inspections. There should have been none. I should be allowed to change my garage door.
Are you kidding? Really? It was about a garage door?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is...
No, you know this about California. Come
No,
on.
I don't.
Well,
I'm sorry. I don't.
You've never heard that California is overtaxed and overregulated? That we are a one-party state where there's sort of no checks on that sort of extreme leftism. And what do you think?
I don't for a minute consider California a state that is extreme leftist. Not at all, not any way.
Well, that shows where your politics are. That's not where mine are.
Yeah, people get to drive cars, so if we were extreme, if she had it her way, she'd confiscate the cars and the property, not hers.
You and I are clearly on the right? And if somebody was like, Oklahoma ain't a red state, I'd be like, heck yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that is insanity. She's so out of touch in her own little bubble.
She wants more regulation. She doesn't think we have enough regulation.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the problem here, people. And yes, sorry if we're shaming you, Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom, but you guys are feckless. You don't get anything done, or worse, you don't want anything done. But Karen Bass doesn't know how to do anything. I've explained this a million times. If somebody, just everyone imagine this, when we're talking about the rail that's going to go along the 405 and join the west side with the east side and alleviate all the traffic going through the Sepulveda Pass. Our current administration, Karen Bass and all the city council people, have no ability to do that.
Make it happen.
They have no ability. But why? Here's my whole point. Why should they? They don't do that. You know what I mean? Now, if you said...
It's true, they've never built something specifically in the private sector.
Who's going to do this? And I'd go, I got Rick Caruso, Elon Musk, and Trump. They're going to do it. I'd go, oh, good.
Yeah.
It'll get done.
They've all built things before.
They've all built things before. So they not only don't necessarily want it, they have no idea how to go about it. Karen Bass never built a thing. She's going back and forth to Cuba and Ghana. She doesn't do anything. So she doesn't, and also she doesn't have an interest in it for some reason. And what I'm saying is I like building, so I have an interest in building. But if you like baking and I have no interest in baking, then no, I'm not going to think about how to facilitate, expedite. I'm not interested.
Well, because she had, once again, this circles back to they don't have to because they can continue to get away with it.
Yes.
So they will focus on the things that they think, which is, oh my God, ICE went to the soccer field and scared little children while rounding up their parents.
Right. So
that's the stuff they're going to focus on and spend all the hours of the day on, not minimizing traffic and helping emissions.
Right. So Trump is going to now shame them by doing this.
I love it.
And they're going to get super angry.
I can't wait to see an update like 30, 90, 120 days of how many permits have actually been approved and how much is actually moving forward now that this is going to happen. But that Newsom and Bass are probably going to push it and fight it.
Well, the funny thing about Bass and Newsom is it's sort of like everything Trump wants, like lower gas prices and close the border. It's like somebody saying, listen, taco truck pulled up in front of the house and this guy wants to give us free tacos, so I'm going to go get rid of him. And I go, no, I want it. It's not going to pull any taco truck on my street. And I go, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
No, not on my watch. And then you go out and start yelling at the guy. And I'm like standing behind him going, I like tacos. I want tacos. I want
extra
cheaper gas. I want to expedite the permit process. I want the illegal criminals taken out of LA. And I know you're going to fight Trump, but this is shit I would like. I would think most people would like an expedited permit process.
I mean, I think a couple of Republican candidates, including Steve Hilton, are running on like the cheaper fuel. Because turns out most people in California, not just Los Angeles, but in California have to commute more than 30 miles one way to their job. And so when you're a day worker or you're a small business owner, I mean, of course, costs like fuel are something that cut into your bottom line all the time.
You picture, I'll give you an example. All of the guys who are working in Malibu, now there's no working going on where they're building family homes. They're tearing up PCH and laying power lines and digging whatever. So, right. But there's tons and tons of workers. They are mostly all Hispanic. I guarantee not a one of them lives in Malibu.
Yeah.
No, not even close.
Even the white workers in Malibu do not live in Malibu.
No.
There's something, Pepperdine did a study. There's a business department. It was like Public Policy Center and Business Development Department did a study post the fires of how negatively it affected the Malibu economy. And of the I'm like rounding numbers here, but like of the 3,000 people that actually have jobs in Malibu, something like 2,600 of them commute from the Valley or South LA.
Yeah, if you go to a nice restaurant in Malibu and the Mexican busboys clean the table off, it's not like you're like, I live next to David Geffen's place down on Moonlight Drive.
Me and Barbara Streisand are neighbors.
No, they're driving back to Pacoima. So every single dude who's working on PCH in Malibu Not one of them. And I'm not making an exaggeration. I'm saying 0 live in Malibu. Most drive trucks, and certainly the equipment and the trucks, and they're hauling stuff, and they have trailers and everything like that.
They're getting 12 miles a gallon.
At best. At best. And they all live on the other side of the hill. Could be Sun Valley, could be Pacoima, could be Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks, whatever. They're going over the hill. Most all the Mexicans are doing all the work, live in that area. So they got a long haul in and a long haul back, and gas is $5 a gallon, and they're getting 9 miles a gallon, and it's tough. And it's affecting them. It does not affect me. I make a ton of money, and it's just not a big deal. It's not.
You're not looking at your fuel budget every month, like I think not just Californians, but the average American is.
If you wanted to help the average lower income or middle class Los Angelino or Californian, you would lower the price of gas.
Absolutely.
At 1,000%. And like a dozen eggs going from $4 a carton to $2.89, that's fine. But the gas is a lot.
Every single day.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so this is kind of crazy and scary, and Ilhan Omar, as much as I dislike her, did not deserve to be attacked at this event and needs a new security team. But did you see this video?
I did.
We have some video here of chaos erupting at a Minnesota town hall where Representative Ilhan Omar was speaking. A man rushed up to the podium and squirted her with, at the time when this TMZ report came out, was an unknown substance. But it, thank God, we found out it was apple cider, like it wasn't acid or anything like that. So let's take a look.
Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
Whoa.
I don't know.
By the way, I'm most fascinated in the women who always stand around going, "Oh my God! Oh my God!"
The reaction.
What is happening? And then they start narrating. Hey, a guy stood up and he made stuff and he sprayed. Yes, bitch. Yes, we were all here. We
saw it with our own eyes.
What's going on? It's like, okay.
I love it when women are like, "Did you see that?
Did you see? What's happening?
Did you see that?" So, that is a very large security guy. She needs to have security, like on where that guy is with the blue sweater vest on. She should have had security there. The moment that guy stands up, that security guy should have tackled him. He was too far away.
Ilhan chases the guy.
Good for her. I would have done the same thing.
She's feisty, that one.
If somebody attacks me, my reaction is to respond in kind. It's probably stupid. That's why I need a gun, because that guy could
When somebody,
take me.
a big dude, starts spraying stuff on me, I would go the other direction, I would think.
Well, he was kind of running away. It was like a walk.
Her instinct was to move toward him.
Yeah.
Though, so she's aggressive.
She's like, bring it. Also, that gal, she has some other stuff happening. Apparently, her husband's wine company, according to reports, like there is no winery. Their social media hasn't been engaged since like 2023, but somehow their financial holdings have like quadrupled over the last year, from like 5 million to roughly 30 million.
Yes.
So anyway, but then liberals are like, oh, under the Biden DOJ, they investigated her when it came to Somali fraud, and then they stopped the investigation because they didn't find anything. And I'm like, maybe they didn't find anything because Tim Walz and liberal prosecutors within Minnesota were like, nothing to see here.
Yeah, they're protecting their own, for sure. Apple cider vinegar.
Was apple cider vinegar?
Apple cider vinegar. It wasn't my thought.
Yeah.
But others have floated it. And here's the problem.
Conspiracy theories?
Well, let me explain something. It's sort of like cheating. If a guy gets busted for cheating, and then you go to therapy and it's good, it's always on the table. And then he comes home and you're like, geez, your bowling night went a little bit late. Yeah, well, we played some extra frames. Geez, 12:30 at night, huh? You guys usually wrap up about 9. Yeah, we went extra. And then you go, called you a couple times. You didn't pick up the phone. Well, I had it on airplane mode. And you go, okay. Now, it's because he cheated. Now, it's always kind of in question, right? And with all these sort of race-based hoaxes of the last decade.
Now we see that.
Well, there was a time when if I saw something like this and somebody brought it up and said, like, you think this could be staged? I'd go, no.
Well, especially because
not. Now I go,
everything's on the table.
You think he's cheating? That's probably bowling, but he did do it before.
Especially because most of the time these attacks, this happened to my old colleague Michael Knowles at the Daily Wire. He was at a campus event and somebody like threw a liquid on him, which thank God turned out to be nothing. I think it was dish soap and something else. But like, these attacks occur more from the left on the right versus like, when's the last time that a leftist politician was assaulted or yelled at in this way? Like it never happened. Like most stable-minded conservatives or libertarians are not like, I'm gonna go to that Ilhan Omar thing. So I get it. I get the seeds of doubt that are there that can be watered by all of the other conspiracies and all of the other lies that we've been told by those in authority that would make people jump to this was staged. But
yeah, don't know. Just saying. Also, she wanted to carry on, which I kind of like, but if you had unknown substance sprayed on you...
I bet you she could smell it was apple cider vinegar. It has a very strong smell.
I guess, but in a weird way, you would probably say...
I would stop to be like, am I okay?
Look, you would go, look, I think I'm okay. Let me go to the bathroom and wash up and kind of talk to my people and see if we can get our heads wrapped around this, and we'll just adjourn for 5 minutes.
Let's see what was in the bottle. Let's do like a little swab test like TSA agents do whenever I carry breast milk on the plane.
Yeah.
You can tell if it's dangerous
I wouldn't
or not.
see. I'm a weirdo, and that I would probably not want to go to the doctor or have it myself checked or anything. I just go, I think I'm okay. It feels good or whatever. But I would definitely go, I don't know if this is goat piss or I don't know what this is. So I'm like,
go wash your hands or something.
I'm going to go wash up. And then if I feel good, we'll just come back and pick this up.
Yeah.
All right.
I get that.
You get it. All right, let's see how we're doing on time here, Andrews. All right, we're kind of running up against it.
Oh, no.
I know, it flies by with you, man.
When we're having fun.
Me and Ruffalo at the Hague, man. I'm dreaming about that right now. Both sitting there with our earpiece in because they got a translator. And then at a certain point, Mark says to me, this is all English because Stephen Miller's English as a turn. I know, but I like the look of the ear thing with the translator.
Would you bring over Andrew and like Dawson and the whole crew like to document it too?
I would, but Mark specifically said he did not want that.
Oh, I bet you it's because he's going to document it.
He said it's not a 4-man tub, bro. To quote him.
Does he like the Epsom salts or the bubbles in the bath?
I didn't get into that.
Yeah. Just pack both.
I'm going to bring both because I may need to take what they call sitz bath after he's done with me.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do. It's post home birth PTSD just struck.
This is a little different, but you know where I'm going. All right. Let's see. Tonight, Rodney's doing a live podcast with Anthony Scaramucci, and Kyle Dunnigan's going to be there. And then I'm doing stand-up show after that with Craig Robinson, and that's at Rodney's in New York City. DC, I would say first show is sold out.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. At the Trump Kennedy Center. But the 9 o'clock show, there's some tickets left.
Cool.
So I hear. So you can go to adamcarolla.com for all that. Charlotte McKinney, she'll come back and say hi to us when her movie comes out. Alicia Krause, op-ed for the Washington Examiner. All her great words. So digestible. So, until next time, Adam Carolla for Charlotte McKinney and Alicia Krause saying mahalo.
The Adam and Dr. Drew Show.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on it. Judgment, get it on. Doctor is board first side six medicine specialist. I am going to be in Santa Barbara. This Friday.
Do tell.
Doing stand-up over there. And then Saturday, Corona, and then off to Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Just got back from there.
Oh, yeah?
With traveling with a 1-year-old is good times.
Oh, granddaughter?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Woo. Good times. Worked out okay, but the ride back was a little challenging. Too tired.
Let's see. What do we got with you, Drew? I got more Burt
so
Reynolds
much.
for you.
Yeah, I know. They gave me a little hint of what's ahead. I'm in. And it pertains to me talking about my granddaughter. I did a little promo for one of our throwback episodes, and I was thinking to myself, gosh, we don't talk about our personal lives anymore almost at all. The world is just crushed in around us. You know what I mean? We don't have any time.
Yeah. I mean, just a lot of really bad ideas out there. I'm really just starting. I've been drilling down on this kind of chick think, and like people, they just get up there and they go. It's all these like middle-aged women going, you know what? I'm the kind of person that believes in equality, and I believe that everyone deserves, and I don't judge by the color of their skin, and I believe in immigrants. And it's
must
like,
feel so good.
You
That must feel so good.
talk, you talk. And then you see Trump sit down. He's like, I did tariffs in Ukraine, and we're lowering the cost. You know, he keeps going, the price of gas is under $3 in like 20 states. The price of gas is that. And I'm like, yes, good numbers.
Yes.
Things. It's so funny. Like in one Trump presser, there's more numbers thrown around than there were the entire Biden administration, which is just about people of color and good vibes. And don't get me wrong, I would be fine with all that if any of it ever worked or anything came out the other side.
Right.
Your sweeping proclamations about treating people with dignity are fine.
Yeah.
But first, we got to do shit. And and by the way, you want to know what the ultimate dignity is? Stop taking so much of my fucking money, government. How about a little
wasting
dignity?
it once you get
or
it,
just
too.
squandering it. Yeah, whatever it is. You want the homeless treated with dignity. Well, okay, treat them with dignity, but they shit their pants. They're expiring on the street. You want everyone with dignity all the time, but nothing ever comes out the other end. No. And I'm now at the phase where I'm realizing people are dying.
Oh yeah, this has been going on for a long time.
I mean, it's getting dangerous. Whatever it is you're doing is fucking things up and costing a bunch of lives.
Let me just touch on three possibilities, three areas where lives are being lost. You mentioned homeless. Hundreds of thousands of people dying on the streets, neglect, not allowed to be seen by doctors and nurses. Okay, well done.
Right.
Yeah, just give them a house, they'll be fine. Okay, if that's all we needed for complex medical psychiatric problems, just four walls, my God, we would never need any doctors
again. But by the way, we can't do that. I mean, Newsom was going to build tiny houses. They're going to be $675,000 a unit for 400 square feet. Like, and by the way, but it's not. We never did it. It's not. We don't even do the part that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah, well, good.
But it's all fucking chick think. It's all chick think.
So there's one. Number two, we had some recent leaks from the HHS that, lo and behold, there's a zero probability of hospitalization and death from COVID, a non-zero probability of serious injury from the vaccine.
Right. So I just got done yelling at all the moms.
Yeah, moms did that.
I just said, moms, you did this. Yeah. Moms, I have kids that were needlessly experimented on with vaccines when they were 13 or 14 years old. They did not need it.
And lockdowns.
Fuck
their education up, their social development.
Because Dumbo mom got scared. Because she wouldn't look into what other people were saying. She sat around, got scared, and ran with the pack, and now you potentially harmed your kids. That's what happens. Now, I don't think they'll be harmed, but I don't know what the long-term ramifications were of an experimental vaccine and the long-term ramifications of school closures and all this kind of thing. Moms, you did it. In the name of safety, you hurt your kids.
And then there's a third category that the moms participated in. And I'm not saying, what I'm saying is the excessive enthusiasm and the lack of clinical evidence, less ability to follow what is clinically mandated when kids express transgender feelings.
Yes.
There's no data to follow. There's no, sort of a clinical pathway that has a evidence basis to it.
Right.
And so people were hurt because of that.
Right. So
with the moms.
Right. But I'm saying moms, politicians, whomever, how long can you hide behind the shield of I meant good.
I have no doubt they meant good.
I know, but you're harming people. So at a certain point, you can be driving and you can be the best person in the world and you can be texting because you're telling the orphanage you're running late with their Christmas ham you're bringing, and then you could T-bone somebody and kill somebody.
Yeah.
Sorry, vehicular manslaughter.
Right.
And
by the way,
it doesn't matter
most
how
of the time
good
I'm
you
good.
are.
I'm good the rest of the time.
That's right.
I love this part too. He only murdered on one day.
Yeah,
just one bad day.
So I'm saying whether it's moms or politicians, your horrible fucking policies are killing people. And at a certain point, we need to hold you responsible for your horrific ideas.
At least when do we stop listening?
Well, I never listen.
But
society does.
The press, maybe they need to get a little sort of religion here.
It'd be nice, but also no one really listens to the press anymore.
I hope not.
Sort of realized.
I hope not. That would be great news if that were true. 'Cause unfortunately, I think there's a bubble of people that really do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's a problem.
There still is.
Yeah.
All right. I got some Burt Reynolds.
Oh, yes. God, hallelujah.
I think this one is Whoopi Goldberg talking about trans. Whoopi Goldberg doesn't make sense in her own voice, but when you hear her Bert's voice, it really, the chickens come home to roost in terms of her.
Jumps out.
Well, again, I was telling you, how can you string together a thought if new thoughts keep popping in and interrupting the first thought and the second thought? And
Well, this
that's
is
kind of
back
what
to
she does.
something you and I have talked about. I'm not sure if it's on the show or not, but logic, death of logic.
Right.
Logic has to be kind of pursued carefully.
Well,
has to be
that's
followed.
Right. Well, logic keeps you in your lane because logic is linear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying. If you talk to me about building, I would go, well, we got to get a soils report.
Yeah.
And then we got to get engineering. And then we got to get the foundation. We got to engineer them, do the foundation. Then we're going to frame. Then we're going to.
No.
But I'm not going to go, we're going to get the soils report. And then we're going curtain shopping.
Right.
And then we're going to look at sofas and end tables, and then we're going to do the foundation, then we're going to do the framing, then we're going to look at swatches for wallpaper. No, I know the subject. It's linear. It starts here, and then at some point we'll get to the wallpaper
Has an order.
swatches.
There's
But
an order.
I don't have all these I don't have all these crazy wild line ideas popping into my head in the middle of the order. All right, but here's Whoopi talking about transgender, female athletes too.
Well, I think part of the problem that the trans community is facing, and it's the same problem that women face, is if you don't know anything about our bodies, you don't know how it works. So when you come in and you say, oh, these men, these are men, competing against women. You're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything except my hair. Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing. So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue. The same for me as when people say, oh, I don't know how I feel about you. You do. God doesn't make mistakes. And the challenge is not to the trans people.
What?
It's to the people who are not trans.
What?
That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Those are
It's
nine
a
thoughts
fucking jumble. If you took words and just put them on ping pong balls and put them in a bingo hopper and just pulled them out. This woman makes her living talking on TV.
Wow.
But she makes her living talking to other dumb women. And that's how it worked. Now that's where we're at.
I bet they applauded too at the end of that.
They love
God,
it.
yes,
they love
God.
it. All
God
right,
makes-
all right. And then all of them go out and vote.
Oh, boy.
And then we get this. This is where we're at, Drew. We're in the middle of crazy chick thing.
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another good one.
Well, this is Nithya Raman. I think you've heard this one.
I have heard it, but I didn't realize I heard about 2 sentences of this, and it's so bizarre. I didn't even connect it to her.
She's a LA City Councilwoman who's, well, if you don't like tree houses made on private property, she's your girl.
Yeah.
She had that was in her district.
By the way, for neighborhood kids.
For neighborhood
their use.
Well, it's too dangerous.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything's
Safe,
dangerous.
safe.
Uber Alice. Right. So
we have a company.
It's been up for 20. By the way, I don't know. Don't hit play when I'm talking, probably.
Oh, on the other hand.
But it was up for 20 years. But anyway, that came down. But the other thing that came down was the U-turn sign in the gay part of town for cruising. It's awesome. I mean, she's doing the Lord's work. Anyway. Oh, we've never played the Nithya Raman Toyota one.
Not for me.
Drew?
Not for me.
Okay. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. She's going to explain how to prevent getting catalytic converters stolen.
Yes. There's a problem with catalytic converters being stolen on the streets of Los Angeles.
An actor was killed interrupting.
Oh.
You didn't know about that story?
I don't remember that. Mm-mm.
You didn't know about that one?
Mm-mm.
Well, the guy came out. He was doing some bartending at night, and he came out as an actor, and they're in the middle of jacking the catalytic converter. And he walked up on the guy, and they shot him dead.
Jesus.
You didn't hear about that, huh?
No.
It was
shocking.
All Johnny. His name was Wachter, which is funny. He was on, like, I don't know, soaps and stuff like that. Just, in his 30s, just executed.
Horrible.
Yeah, okay. But Nithya's got a solution.
We have a company, the pre-whatever Toyota who makes the Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars which is super easy to remove. It's basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car. And then the thefts related to this issue have essentially all of the costs of that are given to us to bear, instead of them having to manufacture a car that actually is not so easy to be stolen.
Wow. What was that?
I don't know. She said that into a
microphone in front of people.
Device to amplify her voice, so people in the back of the auditorium could hear this fucking bitch babbling on about nothing. She went to Harvard, by the way. Harvard's done, right?
Yeah.
That's her speech.
I like the way she talks about first of all, the catalytic converter is like some sort of magic box.
Yeah,
this
so
thing
easy.
on it. This. By the way, I guarantee you, back in the 70s when we were getting these catalytic converters, she was a gigantic champion of getting that catalytic converter as part of the vehicle to reduce emissions. Right?
Oh,
this is her team. Good for her. You did it.
But it's so easily to be stolen on the part of the car where they put it.
And by the way, are they only selecting Toyota catalytic converters? is that the only ones?
But that's I mean, first off, I don't know where we want to start, on our journey through retardville here. But there's many Hondas, there's many Fords, and there's Toyota Camrys, there's many everything. There's a million brands, and they all have a catalytic converter, and they're all being stolen.
Yes,
right.
And describe what you have to do to easily steal these catalytic converters.
Well, first you have to access it because it is in the center of the car.
In the chassis, sort of.
Yeah, it is, but there's nothing harder to access than the actual center, front, back, right, left of the car. And it's inside what would be, I don't know, the transmission tunnel or something would call it. It's up flush mounted. It's not hanging down.
Right.
It'd be scraped off every time you went over a speed bump. So it's flushed up.
Into the car, yes.
Into the car. So first thing you have to do is jack up the car.
So you get a jack out, probably a big one too, right? One of those sort of, because you don't want that thing falling on your head when you're underneath.
You're looking for the term floor jack.
Floor jack, a floor jack
versus a bottle jack versus a scissor jack versus a screw jack.
Floor jack. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you make this stuff up, Adam?
One of those big ones.
Yeah, I make it up. I make up all the jacks. None of them exist.
I don't know. I know the floor jack and a one you get in the back of the car with your tire.
That's a scissor.
Okay.
Probably. Could be screw. Point is that could be bottle. Probably not bottle. Here's the point. A floor jack, yes, you need a floor jack. You have to get under the car, number one. Then you have to get to the center of the car. And then presumably you're going to need some light because it's going to be at night. It's going to be pitch black underneath the car. And then you're going to need a device like a Sawzall or a reciprocating saw or a bayonet saw, which is all the same. Sawzall's just a brand name, but the more popular version of it. They sort of pioneered the reciprocating / bayonet saw. So you have to get under there and you have to cut through some steel to get it loose. And it's going to take a minute, but it's also going to be real fucking loud, too, because it is a steel cutting blade cutting 3-inch steel pipe underneath a car in the middle of a residential neighborhood, theoretically, 2 in the morning or whenever it is. So,
God, I wish somebody just held up a Sawzall and went, "Excuse me, Nithya, do you know what this is? Do you have any idea?"
She doesn't know anything.
But I mean, this is what's required to take these out after you get it jacked up and lit properly.
Well, I would say anything that you cut out, physically cut out of a car, would fall under the heading of difficult.
I would think.
Versus things you could pop off, like steal a gas cap or something like that. Or a tire or rims or whatever, license plate. You know what I mean? Like I'd go, license plate's pretty easy to steal. You need a screwdriver and that's about it. Yeah. But you don't have to get under the car. You don't have to cut anything.
Right.
Yeah. We should hear, by the way, I'd like to hear her. I'd like to hear I'd like to hear it one more time because it's funny that people don't really tap into this stuff. I tap into it. I'm like, oh, this person has a 10-cent head.
Not going to work.
And this is not going to work. And she's going to take this to every subject.
Yeah.
She's not in charge of catalytic converters. She's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And that's where the 10-cent head comes in. Mixed with a bunch of Harvard and some chick think in there, too. It is the best. Well, I don't know. Let's watch the actual one, I guess, because we're looking for that. But it is
so hard.
So now you go, all right, take this dumb shit, and now get 8 more like her, and then Karen Bass, and then have them run Los Angeles, and then you have a shit show. That's
a total shit show.
Well, what you have is a focus
on
removing U-turn signs in gay neighborhoods and or tearing down tree houses, but not filling reservoirs.
Right. Not governing.
No, because it's more fun to do the photo op where you take down the no cruising sign.
That's why I got into government.
Right. You have the gay community applauding you while you're doing that. Meanwhile, a mile to the south, the fucking reservoir's empty.
So disturbing.
Well, first off, how else would this work? And then when the Trumps of the world show up, they get super agitated because he wants to know what's going on with the fucking reservoir. And they don't like that.
Right, of course.
So really,
he's mean.
They do a lot of, race and xenophobic and homophobic, but they're really like, this guy's showing up and he wants to know what the fuck's going on, and that's why we don't like him. But it's the same way they wouldn't like their stepdad if they came into their dorm room and went, this place is a mess. What am I paying for here? I'm paying for your tuition to go to this college. I pay for the dorm room, and it's embarrassing. So clean up. Well, what are they going to do? They're going to be angry at the stepdad. Of
course.
Right. They're never going to pay for their own dorm room.
No. Well, no. Please.
And by the way, the critique of the stepdad isn't going to be him wanting to clean my dorm room. They're going to call him an asshole and a misogynist.
Right. He's mean.
He hates girls.
Yeah.
He hates girls.
Hates whatever.
All right, here she is in the flesh.
Things that really infuriates me is that
she's
we
infuriated.
have a company, the Prius, whatever, Toyota, who makes the Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars, which is super easy to remove.
Super easy.
Basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car.
All right, hold on, pause it. So the language, I'm sure I've talked to you about this a million times, on the long end, it's like, I was intimidated. This guy came at me, and it's like, oh, listen, you want to push the fucking ice guy, and he pushed you back. I don't know what the fuck you want, but you listen to the language, right? It goes both ways. It's incredibly easy to steal. Like, it's super incredible. There is not a human being that would call a piece of pipe welded into the bottom of a car super easy.
Let's accept.
I mean, even if it is,
look, let's accept her position. Okay, it's easy. So therefore, if I actually put a MacBook in the back seat of my car and somebody ransacks my fucking car, that's on me.
Well, it's on Toyota for not welding bars where your windows are. Right. Because why not? Why shouldn't they put bars there? Because it's super easy.
Super easy to pull shit out of the car. Yeah.
Right.
That's that logic.
It's awesome. Well, it's funny because it's not even right. Yeah. We'll play it out. Sorry, go ahead.
Put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car, and then the thefts related
and she's
to
so delighted with herself.
Essentially, all of the costs of that are given to us to bear instead of them having to manufacture a car that actually is not so easy to be stolen. I think it's outrageous. Our police department is dealing with it. Our residents are dealing with it.
Yeah, she's so right.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That's Sherman Oaks, everybody. That's in Sherman Oaks.
And there's a haunted tree house that's on Van Ness Street, and that's coming down. Wait, does this keep going, by the way? I love that the dullards are fucking knocking their flippers together.
This is a longer one than what we're used to.
It is.
This was, I couldn't find it on Twitter.
That's fine,
but I found it on YouTube.
But it stops there. It doesn't keep going. Or does it? No, that's it. Okay. Yeah, I forgot the smattering of applause. Yeah, Yeah, cops trying to do their job. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Holidays are upon us. Some people have a million traditions, but some are just kind of improvising. Same with food every year. Same movie, same routine, same football games. Maybe you're at the point where you want to rewrite that script a little bit. Therapy can be one of those new traditions, a built-in way to take an hour for yourself, get some clarity instead of just white-knuckling your way through December. You got to regulate those emotions, and that requires a little help. BetterHelp gives you access to fully licensed therapists in the U.S. who work under a strict code of conduct. So you're not just venting into the void, you're talking to someone who can actually help. If the holidays are stressful, lonely, or just louder than your own thoughts, consider using December to close the year with some clarity instead of chaos with BetterHelp online therapy. Right, Daphne?
This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/AdamandDrew. That's betterhelp.com/AdamandDrew.
Okay, Drew.
Yeah.
You want any more Burt Reynolds?
Well, if you got it, I almost don't want to. I almost want to spread it out for my Christmas holiday.
All right.
You know?
All right.
I got to do a couple other things. I do.
Okay.
Do you see that Kim Kardashian had a brain scan?
Yeah, I saw that.
What'd you think of that? Essentially, Dan Amon did a SPECT scan, and it showed...
Who's Dan Amon?
He's a psychiatrist that uses neuroimaging to sort of make...
Do you think people know who that is?
I was going to get to it. I appreciate it. Okay. And he saw decreased activity, or what he calls holes in the frontal lobes, which is guess what part of the brain that is? It's the reasoning executive part. Interesting. And she's having difficulty passing the bar, and it's tough concentrating. She got a lot of stuff going on. So it's all being sort of glossed over a little bit because you have low activity. SPECT scans are not great. They're not functional MRIs. Mm-hmm. They're sort of correlative. Like, okay, there may be something going on there. Certainly fits with Kim's stuff, it seems to me. And he's going to give her some ideas on how to improve brain health, blah, blah, blah. May or may not work. Here's how really she needs to improve it.
I predict fish oil at some point is going to come up, because we've been talking about fish oil for 40 years.
He does a lot of fish oil.
He does?
A lot of saffron, a lot of fish oil.
I've never heard that. I don't know who he is, but all I know is somehow fish oil comes up every time.
Did they mention DHA anywhere in her stuff?
Yeah, no, it's fish oil because everyone knows the smartest creatures on the earth are mackerel. So So just use your head, Drew. You know how smart mackerel are?
Oh, the smartest creature.
You know, sometimes
you need a dose of that.
Swimming in the ocean, you see mackerel doing long division. Yeah.
Hey, Siri, was Kim Kardashian recommended to take DHA for her brain holes? See what Siri has to say about this. Doesn't say particularly.
All right, so I'm really starting to just think that people's brains are just sort of insufficient or something. Deficient.
Well, yes, that is correct. And that's why we used to have education. To grind it, to rewire it, to grind it into performance. It's like learning to play here. Okay, not specifically recommended.
All right.
But general advice for brain health often includes omega-3 fatty acids.
Fish oil.
There it is. But much like, how this is no different than how you would learn to play the violin. Right? Do you just go do it and all of a sudden you can play the violin? No, you have to repeat and repeat and build for thousands of hours.
You can teach people. Here's my argument, Drew. I've made it a million times.
Yeah.
Nobody who grew up on a farm or in any kind of rural environment or did any kind of work at a mill or a mining or a shop or anything would utter what Nithya Raman uttered at that town hall.
Right.
Because they'd realize how fucking retarded that sounded because if you worked on a farm, you could never say what she said. She grew up in academia and then went to Harvard and then was able to put those thoughts together because she never grew up. It's like literally growing up in outer space. We're just floating around everywhere and there's no gravity.
So I'm realizing that both you and I have the same impression on this, but we come to it from two different places. Back in the day, the academia used to be about connecting you to reality and the truth and grounding in evidence. That's just gone.
Yeah, I will say that anybody who studied some hard science or something, I mean, like I said, just really...
But even there, it's getting fucked up, though.
Even, mastered an instrument or something like that.
Yes.
I will, sure, it's not all about stacking wood and stuff like that. I just mean, but they're growing up in some sort of
zero gravity
world, but just it's basically I'm going to get up here and I'm going to yell free Palestine and then my work will be done. But meanwhile, you know nothing and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about and who's keeping Palestine unfree, and then you think this is ever going to fucking work, and it never has, and there never will because of the people in Palestine. But I'm just going to yell free Palestine, and then I'm going to go have a latte, and meanwhile, nothing will ever get done. And then when Trump does his presser, it's like nothing but building and tariffs and percentages and bottom lines and fuel and drill and energy and independence and deals. It's all pragmatic and they fucking hate it.
Yeah.
By the way, a lot of women don't like me because I'm too fucking pragmatic.
A lot.
It bothers them. Well, it bothers them because they want to
come off as mean.
Right. They want to say a bunch of retarded shit and then I say stuff that corrects them and then they get angry.
You're mean.
Well, makes
you're
me
annoying. You're annoying.
Yes.
At best, you're annoying. But
well, what did I do? All through COVID, all I did was annoy people with my ideas.
That turned out to be correct.
Well, yeah, I knew I was correct. They may have known I was correct, but all it did was piss off everybody around me all day, every day.
But the interesting thing is why we don't learn. That's just fascinating.
I learn.
I do too.
I learn they're fucking retarded. That's what I learned. They don't learn anything because they're, you know why? Because they get angry. Well, look, when a cop pulls you over
and
he tells you you're going 50 and a 30, You can get angry at the cop, but it's not going to help you learn to slow down and thus avoid getting pulled over again. You just get angry at the cop.
Well, it's the same thing with Kim Kardashian. She's like, I don't need to go to law school. I just need to pass the bar.
Right.
And so there's this phantasmagoric world where you don't have to do the training. Like, I can play the piano. I'll just sit down. I'll play. I'll just use my instincts. I'll figure it out. I can hear it. They just won't do.
It's kind of interesting. I've also found out, I've seen a lot of women like standing in front of ICE or cops or uniformed whoever, or just dudes driving trucks going, come on, bro, get out of the car. Let's go. And it's like, you're chubby. You're middle-aged. You have no fucking training. In combat at all.
It's not going to go.
And you want this guy to get out of his truck, and you're begging for him to fight.
Yeah.
You have no skills. You have no training. You have no anything. That's part of that brain.
It's
right?
part of that brain, and it is the purpose of rough and tumble play amongst males early in life. They learn what the consequences of that stuff, how to regulate that stuff.
All right. You can go to adamcarolla.com. Live shows coming up everywhere. What do you got, Drew?
Doctor.com, Doctor.tv. Check out Ask Dr. Drew on Rumble and YouTube.
So, until next time, Adam Carolla, Dr. saying, Mahala.